And you can just start in a cross-legged position. Close down the eyes, take a moment just to get grounded. A moment to separate this next 45 minutes from the rest of your day and from the rest of the evening ahead. Clearing the cobwebs of the mind by deepening the breath. In and out through the nose. Creating length through the spine. Space in the joints, space between the vertebrae. And when you exhale, feel heavy. Sitting bones sink down, the shoulder blades descend. Shoulders themselves draw down away from the ears. Most of us tend to lean forward. So you may want to lean just slightly back. If you can imagine your shoulders aligning over your hips and your ears over your shoulders. On the inhale, draw the lower belly in and up. Inhale, lower belly in and up, and the rib cage feels light while the pelvis sinks down. Inhaling, lower belly in and up, rib cage almost as though it's floating, heart center lifts, rise up from the crown of the head. And maintain all of that lightness and length as you exhale. Lengthen through the lower back as the pelvis sinks down towards the earth. Breathe in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 4. Take another inhale, rising up again while rooting down. And exhale, round the spine, draw the chin towards the chest, soften and relax your shoulders inwards. Push the knees forward into the hands to round out the upper back. Feel your shoulder blades separate away from each other. As you inhale, draw the chest through the arms and lift your heart center, then squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale and round, shoulder blades separate, the belly drops back towards the spine. Inhale, heart center lifts, baby back bend. Exhale and round, an easy fold. One more time, inhale. And exhale, this time moving into your spinal rotations. Draw the torso forward as you breathe in and round back as you exhale. Warming up the knees, hips, spine, shoulders, and even finding some movement in through the neck. On your next inhale, change the direction. And allow the rotations to get smaller and smaller and smaller, circling back to center as you stack one vertebra on top of the next. Inhale, sit tall, and at the top of your inhale, suspend the breath, relax the shoulders, unclench the teeth. Then slowly and patiently exhale, exhale, empty out the lungs completely, and allow the breath to find its natural rhythm. And open the eyes, uncross and recross the legs. Take the opposite shin in front. Remember, you could have the legs extended straight out in front if you prefer. Plant the right hand, stretch the left arm along the plane of the cheek. Reach your fingertips towards the side wall. You can take your gaze down towards the floor. It's a little bit easier on the neck. And we're going there anyway to stretch out the neck. Start to lower the left arm down and flex the wrist as you do. Press through the heel of your hand. Pause when you feel some sensation in the wrist or the forearm or the neck or even the front of the shoulder. Maybe take an extra breath or two there. And draw the arm all the way in behind your back. Take the forearm towards your low back. Draw the elbow down towards the floor and roll the front of the shoulder back. And push into your lower hand, come on up. Take a gentle spinal twist facing left. Right hand comes to your left knee. Drop the right shoulder down away from the ear and take your gaze towards the horizon. Just as we did in the very first breaths in that Sukhasana, seated cross-legged position. As you inhale, you're drawing the lower belly in and up. The rib cage is light. The heart center lifts. And as you exhale, the shoulder blades descend. Low back lengthens as the pelvis grounds down. You can bring your gaze to the right. Stretch out through the neck. And when you turn back to center, keep the hand on the knee. You'll face forward, release the left hand, and see if you can take opposite hand to knee. Round your spine, chin to the chest. If that doesn't happen, then you could just hold on to the knees. And then release the arms to change sides. Plant the left hand, stretch the right arm up, reach fingertips towards the side wall. Look down to the floor. And start to lower the right arm down. Press through the heel of the hand. Pause when you feel the stretch that you are looking for. And slide the arm all the way in behind your back, forearm towards the low back. Draw the elbow back and down. And draw the shoulder head back or the front of the shoulder back. Press into your lower hand, come on up. Take a gentle spinal twist, now facing the right. Left hand to the right knee. Shoulders away from the ears. And instead of feeling the twist so much in the low back, imagine that you're using your shoulder blades like hands on a steering wheel, and you're trying to steer the mid to upper back with the shoulder blades. The left one drawing forward and the right one squeezing back towards the spine. Bring your gaze to the left. Keep the hand on the knee as you unwind back to center, and maybe take opposite hand to knee. Chin to chest, round out, navel to the spine. And release the arms. Swing the legs to the side, come onto your hands and knees. Spread out the fingers and start to move through cat-cow. Inhale, arching the back, lift your sitting bones. Exhale, push into your hands. Draw the navel tight to the spine. Inhale, sitting bones lift. Shoulders descend. Exhale to round chin to the chest. Squeeze the belly in. 2 more. Breathe in. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands towards the back of the mat where you can come folding forward over the legs with a generous bend in your knees. Release the crown of the head towards the floor. Make fists with your hands. Curl your fists inwards towards your forearms. Press the tops of the hands down towards the floor. And rotate the wrists a couple of times in both directions. Take opposite hand to elbow. Pull the elbow points towards the mat. And as you look at your knees, heels are hiding behind the toes. Slowly start to straighten out one leg and then the other, opening up through the hamstrings. And as you come to center, both legs straight, look between the shins at the wall behind you. Release the arms, draw the belly to the spine, and round your way up one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to stand, where you can roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale. Left hand takes your right wrist. Exhale. Inhale again, lengthen, sink into the feet, and exhale, hinge over to your left. Look down towards the floor and try to draw the hips slightly forward. Inhale, center. Change hands as you exhale. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale over to the right. Look down to the floor. Draw the hips slightly forward. Inhale, center, and release the arms. Hands come to the thighs. Exhale, fold forward. Take opposite hand to elbow again. Switch it up so that you've got the awkward feeling way. Hold for 3. Shift a little bit of weight into your toes and then press the thighs back. Lower your hands and walk them forward to downward facing dog. Hook your fingerprints into the floor. Attempt to drag your feet back on the mat. Notice how this really fires up the muscles along the backs of the legs and through the hamstrings. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Look forward, find your way to the top of the mat. Once you get there, lift halfway up and fold as you exhale. Interlace your hands behind you, lift your arms up off your back. Shift the arms gently from side to side, get into the shoulder joints. Then as though someone is pulling you up by your hands, take a deep breath in, come all the way up to stand. Reach the knuckles of the hands towards the space between your feet as you exhale. Gently press the hips forward, lift your heart center, and return to neutral. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, press your hands together. Exhale, fold forward, slide your hips back, and release the crown of the head towards the floor. Left fingertips stay down, bend your left knee with an inhale, reach your right arm up and look either just to the right or all the way towards the upper hand. Try to squeeze your outer right hip back. These are really subtle cues or subtle adjustments. So if they don't really resonate with you, then just breathe into the stretch that you've got and let it go. Circle the arm back behind you. Right fingertips down, bend your right knee, stretch your left arm up, inhale. And maybe you try it again here. The outer left hip draws back, lengthening through that left side body, and maybe finding a deeper stretch through the left hip. Circle the arm back and lower the hand down. Take an inhale and rise all the way up. Reach up, look up, and bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, arms reach, look up. Exhale and fold forward over the legs, release your head. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold again, exhale. You can hold on to the backs of the legs, come into a deeper forward fold. Draw the forearms in against the outer shins and squeeze your shoulder blades in the direction of your hips. Lower your hands down, take a big step back with your right foot. Shimmy the toes back. Press through the right heel, let the left knee slide forward. You could be hands on the thigh or fingertips on the mat. One is not better than the other. Just depending on your body proportions, one might be more accessible than the other. Front knee aligned over the ankle. And you can use your left arm to keep the left knee tracking in to that alignment with the knee over the ankle. If your knee wants to move a little left, give it a squeeze with your left arm. Keep it pulling in towards center. Take the gaze slightly forward. And hold for 3. Try to lift from the inner right thigh upwards towards the sky from the hamstring muscle. Hands come to the floor if they're not. Spin your right heel to the mat. Bring both hands to the inside of the left foot and fold. Crown of the head releases towards the earth. Here you could use a block, slide it under your hands. That would help to lift the floor up a little bit. Lengthen along the sides of the neck, front of the throat, back of the neck. Really activate that right leg. So when you look at your right foot, you're sealing the baby toe side of the foot into the floor and gently lifting the arch of the foot. Hold for 3. Take your left forearm to that front thigh. Inhale and reach your right arm up. Side angle pose. 3 breaths here. Use your arm to squeeze the knee towards the baby toe. Inhale, rise up. Just take your hands to your hips and exhale, straighten the front leg. Give the quadriceps a bit of a break. Use your hands to guide the hips forward towards the top of the mat. Stretch your left arm up. Reach the fingertips towards the back wall. You're using that left hand right where the hip and thigh bone meet to guide the torso, or rather the pelvis, forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Now it's the pelvis moving to press into your hand. It's going in the opposite direction. And reach left, triangle pose. Drop the left hand down. Turn towards the long edge of your mat. And reach the right arm up. Keep drawing the right shoulder blade down your back. And actively push this left hand into something. Ideally, you've got the thumb to the inside of the leg, 4 fingers to the outside of the leg. You're pressing downwards into the leg and rotating your torso towards the long edge of the mat. As though someone is lifting you up from the hand. Breathe in, rise up, press into your feet, and exhale, hands come to the hips as you turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat. Fingers come right at that junction, hip and thigh bone. Lift your heart center, inhale. Drag the pelvis back as you exhale and fold forward. Release the crown of the head towards the earth. Slide the hands down the legs. Nod the head yes and no. Hold and breathe. Bring both hands onto your upper thighs. Push into the legs. Take a deep breath in. Rise up. Hold for the exhale. Toe heel your feet back together and step to the top of the mat. We'll change sides. Inhale, arms reach up, look up, press the hands together. Exhale, fold forward, slide the hips back, and release the crown of the head towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the left foot back, shimmy the toes back. Bend deeply into the front knee, but keep it aligned over the ankle. And remember, you could have your hands here on that front thigh if you prefer. Outer right hip squeezes back. Outer left hip drawing forward. And maybe trying to find a little bit of a lift along the inner left thigh, like you're lifting up from the adductor muscle or the hamstring of that left leg. Draw the belly towards the spine. Take your gaze slightly forward. Then hold and breathe. And if the hands were on the knee, lower them to the floor just to spin your left heel to the floor and take both hands to the inside of that front foot, fold forward, crown of the head towards the earth, softness through the sides of the neck, front of the throat, back of the neck. You can imagine that the right arm is pressing the right knee in, or try to feel the right knee squeezing inwards against your right shoulder. As you look at the back foot, seal the outer edge of the foot into the floor, lift the arch. Hold and breathe. Try to soften the grip of the toes. Instead, really drop the weight down into the heels. Bring the right forearm onto your thigh. Push downwards into the thigh. Reach your left arm up. Inhale, side angle as the left arm comes along the plane of the cheek. Now you can use the arm to press the knee towards the baby toe. Hold and breathe. Reach the left arm up. And as though someone is lifting you up by the hand, take an inhale, come all the way up. Straighten out the front leg. Exhale the hands to the hips. Left hand stays where it is. Push the hips forward towards the front of the mat. Stretch your right arm up along the plane of the cheek. So fingertips reach towards the wall behind you. Then moving in the opposite direction with the pelvis. Inhale, rise up. Pelvis shifts to your left as you reach as far forward as you can. Drop the hand down and stretch the left arm up. Torso leans slightly back. Either gaze towards the side wall or towards the upper hand. You could even look down at that front foot. Push into the lower hand. Rotate the torso. 3 more breaths. As though you're being lifted up from the fingertips. Inhale, rise up. Hands come to the hips. Turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat. Draw the elbows towards each other. Press the hips towards the floor. Lift your heart center towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale, fold just halfway down. Lower your hands to the floor. Even if you have to bend the knees, just bend the knees to get the fingertips either on the floor or onto yoga blocks. And from there, walk the hands forward and allow the hips to hang back. Soften the chin towards the chest. The ears are by the biceps. Breathe down the length of the spine. Walk your hands in towards you. Take the hands to the upper thighs. Press into the legs. A deep breath in. Rise up. And toe heel the feet together. Practicing tree pose. Align the outer edge of your right foot with the outer side of the mat. Pick the left foot up. Bring it anywhere along the right leg. Bring the hands to meet. Focus your gaze. Now it sounds crazy, but it really does help you to balance. If you engage the pelvic floor, you engage the pelvic floor by lifting up deep in the core as though you're holding your bladder. Also sink right down into that standing heel. So you're feeling heavy from the waist down, feeling light from the rib cage up. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And exhale to release. Change sides, align the outer edge of your left foot, outer side of the mat. The right foot lifts up. Gaze focused. Pelvic floor. Bet you didn't know you could engage your pelvic floor before tonight's class. Sink down through the standing foot. Take an inhale and reach the arms up overhead. Lower the arms down. And step to the top of the mat. Can separate your feet mat width distance apart, so take them fairly wide. And then fold forward over the legs. Cross your elbows, take the left elbow on top of the right one, and give yourself a hug so the hands reach towards the shoulders, and maybe fingertips walk towards the shoulder blades themselves. Pull the elbow points down towards the floor, soften the chin towards the chest. Release the arms and just switch that up so that the right elbow is on top of the left one, giving yourself a hug, maybe walking the fingertips all the way towards the shoulder blades, and if they connect, draw the shoulder blades away from the spine. Chin to the chest, elbow points towards the earth, and shift a little bit of weight into the balls of the feet. Notice how the tiniest adjustment impacts your balance. Lower your hands to the mat, toe heel the feet back to center, step back to downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths here. For those of you who prefer 3, take 3. For those who prefer none, maybe find yourself in child's pose. Wherever you are, it's long, smooth, deep, and even breathing. Take your knees to the floor and come all the way down onto the stomach. Bring your forehead to rest on your forearms and separate the feet comfortably wide apart. So maybe not mat width distance, but also not right close together. If you've got back sensitivities, then typically wider is better. Press your front hip bones into the floor. Feel the tailbone drop down towards the space between your feet. And just hang out here for a few breaths. Can you feel the lower back decompress? Front hip bones pressing down, tailbone sliding down towards the back of the mat, kneecaps off the mat, quadriceps engaged. Take 2 more deep breaths. Walk the arms out in front of you. Come up onto the fingertips with the arms extended forward. You could also be palms of the hands. And start to lift the chest. Take the gaze forward. Legs are nice and active. Kneecaps are off the mat, but the tops of the feet stay pressing into the floor. Front hip bones stay rooting down. Tailbone still moving towards the space between your heels. If you want to walk the hands in a little bit closer, you'd be in a little bit more of a back bend. Continue pressing front hip bones down, tailbone down, heart center lifts, rib cage feels light. Hold for 3. Gently release. Prop forearms again, but take the other forearm on top. Forehead on your stacked arms, and you can relax the legs. So the knees connect with the floor. Heels drop out to the sides away from each other. Breathe into the low back. Keep the forehead on the forearms. Legs stay comfortably wide apart, but not as far as mat width distance. And you can reactivate the legs so the kneecaps are off the mat once again. Inhale and lift the right leg up. It does not matter how high you're lifting. In fact, lower is probably better because you're focusing more on quality than you are the amount of height that you have. Another breath in, reach the big toe back as though you want to touch the back wall. And exhale, lower the leg down. Keep the kneecap, however, off the mat, so quads still somewhat engaged. Breathe in and lift the left leg up. You want to be able to feel your left front hip bone pushing into the floor. Visualize your left thigh bone pulling out of the hip socket as the big toe reaches towards the back wall. Breathe in, lift higher if that's accessible. And exhale to release. Just one more each side with the breath. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, lower. Left leg lifts, breathe in. And lower. And then release. Drop the heels out to the sides, away from each other. A little shift of the hips from side to side. And slide your hands under your shoulders. Turn your toes under, ease your way back into child's pose or your variation thereof. You can stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fists, or rest your forehead on a block or on the floor. It can be nice to bring the arms alongside of the body, palms up, and feel the shoulder blades separate away from the spine. Concentrate on deepening the breath, creating space with every inhale, and dissolving tension with every breath out. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push into the palms, lift your head up, swing the legs to the side, turn to face forward, come to the top of the mat with the legs outstretched. Feet side by side, lift the toes up, press the thighs down. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips as best you can, fold forward, soften the chin towards the chest, squeeze your shoulder blades down your back. With your hands along the inner legs, chin drawn down towards the chest, start to curl your way down one vertebra at a time. Point your toes forward. And as you come all the way down, bring the right knee in with you. Interlace your hands around the right leg. Reach your right arm out on the floor and use your left hand. Guide the knee to the left. Either look to the ceiling or along the right arm. Right palm faces up. And widen the collarbones. as the back of the right shoulder releases towards the earth. Come back to center, press into your right foot, shift your hips slightly left. Draw the left leg in, straighten your right leg out, interlace around the left leg. Press forward with the right heel. And stretch the left arm out to the side. Use your right hand, guide the knee over to the right, take your spinal twist. Left palm faces up, and you can either stay looking at the ceiling or draw the gaze along the left arm. Come back to center. Push into your left foot, shift your hips slightly to the right. Bring both legs into the chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Massage your tailbone, your low back, the back ribs, the backs of your shoulders. Come to center, take an inhale, and on your exhale, bring the knees towards the nose, bring the nose towards the knees. Create a tight little ball with your torso, chin towards the chest, squeeze, and release. Lower the arms down, lower your feet to the mat, press into the feet, scoop the tailbone under, walk your feet forward, rotate the palms of the hands to face up as you move into Shavasana. Your final relaxation. They don't call it final relaxation in India, as an aside. It is, in fact, called corpse pose. Shavasana translates to mean corpse pose. So the significance of that is, well, many different things, but one is that you die to the self that you were prior to your practice. You're able to awaken to a new state of mind at the end of the practice. Also, it's connecting with total stillness, taking up the challenge to not fidget, not adjust, not shift. You set up for the pose, and then once you're there, commit. Commit the body to stillness so that you can transcend the body and experience your true state of being, which is one of deep inner peace and contentment. Keeping that commitment to stillness. Notice your breath. without moving anything, just deepen your breathing. Then begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Inhale through the nose, extend the arms overhead, lengthen the spine, point the toes, and through the mouth, exhale. Hug the knees to the chest, rock and roll forward and back and side to side. Find your way back to a seated cross-legged position with the eyes closed and the hands together at the heart center. Sealing our practice in unity with the sound of Om. We take a conscious breath in. Namaste.